Hello everyone, this is Pastor Joey, and I welcome you to our pre-filmed Usher training. This is a training to help our ushers get acclimated to the new environment as we implement some new rules as it pertains to COVID-19 and keeping our parishioners safe. The way we're going to do this is I'm going to take you through the training, basically just how you would go through the day as an usher. We'll start with when you arrive and get to when you leave. By the end of that, you should have a good idea of what the new role is and how you'll fit into that. It's not terribly different from where we were, but there are some changes. So to begin, we ask that you arrive about 15 minutes before service with your mask on. We're asking 15 minutes because we don't want people arriving too early. We're asking parishioners to arrive about 10 minutes early to worship and no more than that. So 15 minutes before worship should be fine. And again, with your mask on. When you arrive, disposable gloves will be provided for you. Please put them on, and then you can set up the table. Now, remember, we will be worshiping outside, so we'll have a table set up for you, and the table will have all kinds of things on it, and this is the order that you will set them up in. First, we'll have a basket or two for the offering. Put those first, so that when people walk up to the table, that's the first thing they get to. Have them put their offering in the basket, and then next to that set up our hand pumps with hand sanitizer. Have people sanitize their hands. Then have them take a bulletin. Now for the bulletins, we don't want just a stack of bulletins because then someone could touch all of them. So the idea is that you lay them out one at a time, so that there's just one there in rows, and then someone can take a bulletin and you can replenish the bulletin for them. That way we don't have someone touching all of the bulletins. And the same after that with the communion cups. We have individual communion cups with the wafer on top and the grape juice below it. Just put them out and space them out so that someone can take a cup without touching the other cups. After they have received all these things, they are ready to go into our play yard for worship. Now and of course, please make sure everyone is wearing a mask. If they do not have a mask, we will have spare masks for them to wear. If someone is being difficult about wearing a mask or complaining about wearing a mask, please contact me. I should be around, bring me in. We don't want it to escalate to a difficult situation, and I'll take care of it. But everyone will have to wear a mask to come to worship. Whenever you're ready to escort them in, remember that everyone must sit individually, socially distanced, or if they're a household unit, if they live together, then they can sit together. We will have bright blue squares painted out in the nursery schoolyard. You can't miss them. And each square signifies where one person or one family unit can sit. And we'll have about 25 squares available for worship. So that means up to 25 individuals or family units. A family unit can be up to 3 in one square. If we get to 4 or more, we'd ask that you split them up between 2 squares. So whoever you're escorting, find out if they have a chair. Hopefully they do. If they do not, we'll have a stack of some chairs for people to use as well. But have them escort them to a square. You assign where the people sit. They do not get to pick where they sit because we have to load people in from the front of the space to the back. So you will take them in and put them in the front, like right corner, and then do the box next to that and the box next to that, and then go back. There will be room for a kind of center aisle too. You'll see it all painted. It'll make more sense when you see it, but again, we're going to load people in from front to back. That way we're ready to go, and people aren't walking past each other and all that good stuff. So we ask, again, that you tell them where to sit. If we get to the start of worship and there seems to be more shade over in a spot that's not being used, then when I make the announcements, I will say some people can move to that shade if they would like. But we don't want people moving till we know no one else is coming. When you do escort a family or an individual to their square, make sure you're keeping social distancing while you do that. Also, there will be a sign on the table that says, please wait to be seated. That way people know not to just come into the worship space. I don't think there's anything else for that. If all the squares get filled up, if all 25 squares are full, then you will have to tell whoever shows up to come to the next service. I have a feeling the 11 o'clock service will be more popular than the 12 o'clock service, so if we get full at the 11, you would just have to ask people to come back at noon and apologize, because we can only have so many people. We need to keep our crowds down. Excuse me. Also, there will be a couple squares that are outside of the worship space. So they're not worship space, but they're outside the fenced in area. Those are overflow, but also some families may want to sit there because there's more room for the children to run around and things than if they're inside the fence. So you can offer that to families when they come if they have small children. During service, you will have a reserved spot right at the opening of the gate, so that will not be hard for you to claim that spot. You can sit and worship. We ask at the beginning of worship if you could, right when worship starts while I'm making the announcements, if you could quickly run whatever is in the offering basket into the church and put it in the church office. You will have a key to the church and the church office to get in to put that there. But there'll be a bigger basket for you to dump it in, and then you can bring the basket back. That way, if anyone leaving wants to leave an offering, they can do that as well. But we just don't want the money sitting out for too long. Also, while you're worshiping, someone may need to use the restroom. We're asking everyone to use the restroom before they come, but it would be much more helpful if they can use the restroom before they come, but if they can't and they need to use the restroom, you will unlock the door for them. You will inform them that everyone, men and women, will be using the ladies' room, which is the one right across from the church office. We're trying to keep it to one bathroom because then we only have to clean one bathroom between each service and everything else. We are changing that bathroom to only one person at a time. It will be a unisex bathroom. You need to knock before you enter and make sure there's no one else in there. But we are only using that bathroom to start. So make sure they know that as well. And there will be materials in there for them on how they need to wipe down the seat after they are done using the restroom. You can lock the people in when you let them in. So if you let them in, they go up the stairs. You can lock the door behind them because they can get back out of the door while it's still locked. So you won't have to come back and lock it when they come back to worship. But no one should be up and around and moving during worship. Everyone will stay in their squares. When worship comes to an end, it will be your job, much like at a wedding when they tell a certain table they're allowed to go to the buffet, you will escort people and tell them when they can leave. That way we have people leaving in waves and not just a big crowd leaving. So start from the back to the front instead of front to back. Do the outside people first, the ones that are outside the fence, and then start with the back row and start letting people go as you indicate. To them. This will allow so that there's a conversation clusters happening as people leave. We don't have gatherings, and people can get to their cars in a socially distanced fashion. After that, if anyone has dropped any more money in the offering plate, we ask that you take it to the office and lock it in the office again, and return the keys to me, and you'll be good. This should all be pretty easy. Again, if you have anyone giving you any trouble about wearing a mask or not wanting to sit in a certain place or anything like that, be sure to send them my way and I will make sure to talk to them. Also, I will make announcements at the beginning of service so that people know what the protocols are. They'll know what's going on, and each week it will get easier as people realize this is the normal. If you have watched this video and you want to usher, please be sure to contact the church office so we can get you on our list. If you have questions, contact the church office and I'll be glad to answer them. But I thank you for your interest in being an usher for redemption. I thank you for your service, and I look forward to worshiping with you in person very soon.